Hi everyone, it's Denise again from the University of Sewing, and I'm back with another block from Granny's 1930 sampler. Just a reminder, this is a pattern book from Ricky Timms. It's a really neat little sweet sampler. 42 different amazing blocks in this book, and we are working our way through them one by one. We're near the end, guys. We're on number 40 today. Woohoo! Happy dance, yay! So for those of you joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Obviously, there are 39 other blocks. Be sure to check back on the YouTube channel, University of Sewing Granny Sampler, and you can go through them one by one in order. You can mix them up, you can skip around, do whatever you want, but make sure you check them out and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the last few that we're going to do. And of course, share with your friends. So what one are we going to talk about today? Well, Dave, how about this little blue and blue log cabin block on our design wall? It's a really, really traditional, very simple, solid color here in the center, and then light on this side, dark on this side, and you sew sort of around. The trick to this one, guys, is being really precise in your cutting, as always. Try not to use steam when you're pressing. That tends to stretch things out a little bit. Be really straight, and as you get one round done, give it a good pressing before you go on to the next one. So I'm going to let Dave take a little peek at our design wall here. We're actually in my home studio today. So I've got everything laid out. We're getting close to putting it together. We've got to figure out what we're going to do for sashing. These are all of my practice blocks, guys. So I always suggest that you do a practice. Even if you don't do the whole block, do part of it, the part that you haven't done before. Maybe you haven't done it in a while. Maybe the book's talking about a different way of doing a technique that you know. Try it out before you use your good favorite fabric. So let's finish this little block. We've got it just about ready. We've got 2 more rows to sew here. I've got it laid out on my little design board here. We're going to sew this short one on first, and we're going to sew this guy on, and we're going to press it, and this one's ready to go into the done pile. So what are we doing with our machine? We've got our 880 today. I've got my favorite 57D foot on. Most important thing about any D feet is make sure that you actually engage the dual feed. Unfortunately, I do forget to do that on occasion, and it doesn't work nearly as well. I've got my straight stitch plate on. I've got a Microtex needle, and I've got some Aurifil thread. So what stitch are we going to use? Well, we could use our good old straight stitch. Good old standby works just well every time. We're going to go to our quilting stitches today, and my favorite for piecing is 1326, which you notice lowers my stitch length down to 2.0, makes it just a little smaller, makes those seams a little tighter, but keep in mind it's also going to make it a little trickier to take out if you do need to unpick your stitches. One more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change the pressure on my presser foot. I find I like it a little less than what the machine automatically sets at. And that's one of the cool things about our lovely sewing computers is we can change so many of those things. So we are all set to go, guys. Let's do this guy's first. Remember, we're doing a nice scant 1/4 inch, meaning just a thread or 2 shy of that 1/4 inch. I'm going to make sure my thread is out here because I am in the habit of holding my threads. The machines these days have such strong motors that they really want to suck those threads right back in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a couple stitches. I'm going to put my knee lift on. You guys know I can't sew without my knee lift. I'm going to take a couple stitches, and then I'm going to stop and make sure everything is lined up the way I want it. But by doing just those few stitches and having my needle in the down position, the machine works sort of like as an extra hand and holds things in place so I can adjust if necessary. So you see, this looks like the block is actually a little longer than my strip, but that's okay. We can work with that. Having the longer one on the bottom, the feed dogs will feed that little bit in with no problem whatsoever. I gave my machine a good cleaning and some oiling, and she sounds pretty happy. When she's happy, we're all happy, right? Just double checking, making sure things are lined up just the way I want them. This is not a difficult block at all, but it is one, just like all the others, guys, where it's really important to be as accurate as possible. And we'll hit the thread cutter. I have recently discovered, I knew that there was this magnetized section on the front of the machine for my stylus, but it holds my scissors really well too, guys. I don't have to look for them. They're right there. So we'll trim this thread. That goes in my little trash bin, and let's press this open. I'm just going to finger press this for now. And the trick again is not to stretch it. I tend to want to overdo it and stretch and press the heck out of things. I am learning to use less steam if I am using steam. There's my strip. And I find using a little less steam, I'm stretching things a little less, so that makes me happy. Same thing, guys, one more, and then this one is done. And I can feel that seam underneath, and I'm just making sure that it's going the right way. Again, we'll do a couple stitches just to hold things in place. I'm tucking my finger under here. This seam here is going this way, and I want to make sure it stays that way. Let's check this. This is looking pretty good. We'll just keep on stitching here, guys. And one more just little adjustment as we get close to the end here. And I'm just using my finger to hold everything in place. Letting the feed dogs do their work on that bottom piece that's just a hair bigger. One more trim. All right, now let's go over to the ironing board. And we're going to just do a quick review on pressing using your wool mat, your clapper, and no steam. So let's go this way. I've recently redone my ironing board. I've got this really cute Lori Holt sewing machine fabric on it. Makes me very happy. Don't you want a cheerful, happy ironing board? Pull my wool mat over here. Now I am going to set this, and I'm going to flip it over just to set this one, just because that makes things hold in place a little better. And again, I'm just going to finger press a little harder here. Now I am going to use my clapper, and of course that's going to work better with steam, but notice I'm not giving it any steam just yet. And if you look, all of these seam lines are pretty square. They're not too wobbly or wonky, which sometimes I'm really good at. So one more finger press here. Just to hold things in place. And now let's do, I'm going to reach behind Dave or around Dave, and I'm going to grab my big square clapper. Because clappers are great, guys, but they weren't originally made for quilters. The square ones are made for quilters, right? It's about time, don't you think? I'm going to give it a little shot of steam this time. Little squirt here, little squirt there, here a squirt, there a squirt. Sorry, had to go there. We'll put that there and give that a second or two to rest. And just a reminder, guys, everything you need to do any of these blocks is available on our website, universityofsewing.com. from the books, the Granny Sampler book, to the little novel by Tim and his buddy Cat Bowser, the Lizzy Albright story. Really, really sweet little book. All of the tools for templates and for marking and rulers and paper piecing paper, any of that stuff is all available on the website. If you have any questions at all, you're welcome to email us at info@universityofsewing.com. I hope you guys are having fun with this project. I'm excited. We're so close to the end. And ta-da, we have a finished log cabin block, block number 40. Guys, we've got 2 more blocks, and then we're going to talk about putting them together. And that sashing is a little different from anything I've done. It's kind of that attic window kind of look to it, so it'll be a new one for me, but I'm excited to try it. So like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next videos. And for myself and everyone at the University of Sewing, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.